Ryan Mason signed for Hull City on the 30th of August 2016. With Mike Phelan in interim charge, Mason became the club's record signing, a reported £13 million, or there or thereabouts, from Tottenham Hotspur. Despite the price tag, the central midfielder with one cap for England only made 20 appearances for the club, scoring 2 goals, before his career was sadly cut short after a clash of heads at Stamford Bridge with Gary Cahill. But what was he like in a Hull City shirt? And was he really any good for us? After signing for the Tigers, Mason made his debut in the 1-1 draw away at Turf Moor against Burnley, a 73rd minute substitute for David Myler coming off the bench. 11 days later, Mason would score his first of 2 Hull City goals away against Stoke in the EFL Cup third round tie on the stroke of half time to level the scores at 1-1 at what was then the Britannia Stadium, assisted by fellow summer arrival Marcus Henriksen, who also scored his first goal for the club that same day to win us the tie in the 91st minute. Mason's second and final goal for the club came on the 15th of October 2016 against Bournemouth, a wonder strike which took a deflection on the way in off Steve Cook, yet again to make the game 1-1. But this time the deal would not be as fruitful, as Mike Phelan's men would lose 6-1 away on the south coast. Despite 2 goals in his first 2 months playing on Humberside, I remember Ryan Mason starting out quite slowly and being no better than players we already had at the club, players such as Jake Livermore, Tom Huddleston and David Myler, even though Livermore was playing more as a centre-back at the time. It was the parting of company with Mike Phelan and the appointment of Marco Silva which started to turn things around for Ryan Mason. Silva brought in some big names in the January transfer window to try and keep the club in the division. Despite the loss of top scorer Robert Snodgrass to West Ham, Silva brought in a lot of players to what seemed to strengthen the squad. I thought it did at the time, and still think it did now, with the additions of Umar Nias, Evandro, Omar El Abdallawi, Lazar Markovic, Alfred Ndai, Andrea Ranocchia and Kamil Grzycki. In addition to that, Marcus Henriksen's loan deal from AZ Alkmaar was made permanent to help the new management, led by Marco Silva, try and keep the club outside of the bottom 3 after 38 games. The arrival of Silva and his new coaching team, bringing in people like João Pedro Sousa and Hugo Oliveira in his backroom staff, was bringing the best out of Ryan Mason. His performances were improving. He showed the fans, and us fans came to realise that he wasn't just an average player who looked great in a big team with players like Harry Kane around him. However, his progress was halted when Hull City travelled to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea in the Premier League on the 22nd of January 2017. In the 13th minute of the game, Chelsea attacked with a cross by Pedro from their left wing. Mason went to head the ball away, but was challenged in the air by Gary Cahill. The two men collided in the air, with Mason coming off worse. Both medical teams were instantly waved onto the pitch by referee Neil Swarbrick, and the game was stopped for 9 minutes as Mason received treatment on what turned out to be a fractured skull. The 25-year-old was transported to St Mary's Hospital in London to be treated further, where he would receive life-saving surgery, which started just an hour after he went down at Stamford Bridge. Mason had 14 metal plates, 28 screws and 42 staples put into his skull. The clash of heads with Cahill also caused bleeding on the brain, which meant Mason stayed in hospital for 8 days before being discharged. 2 days prior to the game, Waller was at St George's Park receiving training, and he was assigned head injuries. So when Mason went down, all the protocols were fresh in Waller's mind with as to what to do and what hospitals to send him to. Paramedics on the scene were adamant to send Mason to the closest hospital to have him scanned and checked out, but Waller insisted that St Mary's Hospital in Paddington, a 21-minute car journey from Chelsea's home ground, was the best place for the central midfielder to go. Mason would be absent for the remainder of the season. Hull City were relegated and a plethora of his teammates moved on to other clubs or returned to their parent ones, as did the manager Marco Silva and his backroom team. Mason would be assigned a squad number, however, for the new season and was determined to return to action. He met new manager Leonid Slutsky and joined the rest of the team on the pitch at Hull City's training base in Cottingham on the manager's first day. He also travelled to Portugal with the team in pre-season and joined the boys on a warm weather training camp in preparation for the start of the season. David Myler, one of Mason's central midfield partners, filmed a vlog on his YouTube channel in pre-season of himself and Mason out on the training pitch with one of the fitness coaches. As the rest of the squad were playing FC Nantes at Craven Park that day, the two players missing with injury were the only two players at the training ground that day. Mason was wearing a protective headguard in training to support his head injuries, akin to Petr Cech, who did visit Mason during his time in hospital. Mason was on the road map to recovery and he was close to playing for the club again. He said multiple times in interviews that physically he was there, but he was just waiting for the head injuries to fully heal and then he could be back on the football pitch doing what he loved and playing with the team. However, on the 13th of February 2018, the club announced that Ryan Mason would retire from football with immediate effect. The statement said, "It is with deep regret that the club has to announce that following the head injury suffered on the 22nd of January 2017, Ryan Mason is to retire from football with immediate effect. Ryan has sought the guidance of numerous world-renowned neurologists and neurosurgeons who have all advised that a return to competitive football is not advised. Ryan would like to put on record his thanks to all at the club who have aided his recovery to this point and his in-depth gratitude to them for their support and compassion over the past 12 months." Ryan Mason posted on his own Instagram account confirming his retirement from football with the statement, "I can confirm that following specialist medical advice, I am having to retire from playing professional football. I have worked tirelessly in order to be able to return to the pitch. Unfortunately, having taken expert medical advice, I now have no option but to retire due to the risks involved given the nature of my injury. I am and always will be eternally grateful for the incredible network of people around me who have helped me to recover from what was a life-threatening injury in January 2017. Thank you to my amazing fiancée Rachel, who has been by my side and lived every single day with me since the injury, helping to give me the strength I've needed no matter how tough things got. We are so lucky to now have become the proud parents of our perfect baby boy, George. To my mum, dad, sisters and all of my family and close friends, thank you for everything. Despite how tough it's been and the challenges I've faced along the way, you've all been there supporting me and words will never truly do justice to how grateful I am for your love and support. I would like to thank everyone at Hull City, especially the doctor, Mark Waller, and all of the medical team for helping me recover. Thank you to the chairman and the board for being so patient with my recovery and sticking with me. There are too many names to mention when it comes to talking about Tottenham Hotspur, but I would like to say a special thank you to John McDermott, the gaffer, and everybody at Spurs for helping me to achieve my dreams. I am so proud to have come through the ranks to play for my club, the club I love. To have had the honour of captaining the team fills me with immense pride. Thank you to all of my teammates over the years. There are too many to mention. It's been a privilege to play alongside you all. Finally, representing my country is an honour that nobody can ever take away from me and something that I am so proud to have achieved. Ryan Mason would be on Sky Sports punditry as Hull City faced Sheffield United a few days after the announcement. Ryan Mason would walk onto the middle of the pitch, a standing ovation from the Hull City fans, and chants of "There's only one Ryan Mason" rang around the KCOM Stadium from both sets of fans. Ryan Mason now works as the head of youth development and as a coach for Tottenham Hotspur's Academy. I hope you all enjoyed this video. It's something a little bit different, something I want to make fairly regular, something new on this channel. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash a like, subscribe if you're new, and very, very soon, I am bringing to you the Hull City flop that was Hatem Ben Arfa.